In these problems, we're being asked to find all the square roots of a number. And this first problem says find all real square roots of 64. And you probably know the square root of 64 is 8, right? Or if you don't know that, you plug 64 into your calculator, hit the square root key, and it says 8. However, your calculator is not being entirely truthful with you. What the square root is the opposite of squaring. It undoes squaring. And of course, 8 times 8, that's 8 squared, equals 64. So 8 is the answer, or maybe an answer. But there's another way to get here. We could take negative 8 times negative 8. A negative times a negative is a positive. This is also 64. So all the square roots of 64 are 8 and negative 8. So that's the trick to this problem. Actually, there's one other little trick. Let's look at the second one. It says find all real square roots of negative 49. And the deal with negative numbers, you can't get a real number if you try to take the square root of a negative. Because what two things could be multiplied together to add up to a negative number? If you multiply two positive numbers, positive times a positive is always going to equal a positive. And if you multiply two negative numbers, a negative times a negative is going to equal a positive. And you can't multiply a negative and a positive number because that's not squaring. Squaring means you multiply the same thing. So there is no real solution to the square root of a negative number. So whenever you see find all the square roots of a negative number, the answer is going to be a big old none until later in math you learn about imaginary numbers. That'll be fun. But for the meantime, this is how to take the square root of a number and find all the answers.